Coach Dave here, Accordion Cool here, and I got my name right on the accordion in case I forget it. I can see it in the monitor so I'll know what my name is. Another show, another day, another show. Well, we're continuing along with our decades schedule, so to speak. We're still in the 1940s. A lot of tunes came out in the 1940s. That one was 1940. How High the Moon is the name of it. And it came from a Broadway show. Another one of these Broadway shows. I think I might have heard of it, but, you know, not a lot happened with it. But once again, we got a song from it. Now, I think I mentioned on another show, Les Paul, great guitar player, very much into electronics, and his wife was Mary Ford, who was a vocalist. And what he would do is he would, you know, lay down the music track, and then she would sing to it. And then he would record that, and then go back, and she would sing in harmony. And they would do this 3 or 4 times. So by the time the recording was done, it sounded like she was a 4-piece group. And this was one of the songs they did, How High the Moon. So you may recall hearing it in that, shall we say, genre. Well, moving on, I'm going to stay right in 1940 for this next tune. Now, this was just a popular tune, to my knowledge, didn't come from a show or a movie or anything, but it was just a couple of guys sat down and decided to write a tune, and it became very popular. Art Van Dam, who you've heard me mention many times, he has it on one or two of his albums, which is where I first heard it. And I don't think you hear this tune much today, but it's a nice little tune called "You Stepped Out of a Dream." So here we go. You stepped out of a dream. You stepped out of a dream. And sometimes they step out of nightmares, but that's all right. Well, this next tune, in fact, it was written around 1935, 1936, and it just kind of hung around. Then they used it in a movie. Now, this movie has the most misquoted quote of all times. You've probably heard the quote, "Play it again, Sam." Guess what? It was never said. It was never said. This is Humphrey Bogart, movie Casablanca, and what he said, and I will give you the worst Humphrey Bogart impersonation you've ever heard. "You're playing for her, Sam, now play it for me. Play as time goes by." That's what he said, and that's the name of the song, As Time Goes By. Now, this song was actually voted the best movie song of the 1940s and the second best song of all times. Well, if you've been paying attention the past few weeks, you know that the greatest song of all time in the 20th century, a little tune called Over the Rainbow, well, that was also a movie song, so it got the best, all time, so it couldn't have the best movie song too. So Casablanca moved up to the best movie song, but is also recognized as the second greatest song of the 20th century. So what did I say? Casablanca, as time goes by, you know what I'm talking about. So let's see what happens with this. We'll just use the piano because that's how it was played in the movie. As time goes by, you're not playing again, Sam, because he never said that. Never said that. And of course, the last line in the movie is, "We'll always have Paris." But I haven't seen that movie in a while, many, many, many years. But I know when I did see it, to me, it was one of the greatest films also, just with the technology they had in those days and what they were able to do with it. So Casablanca, as time goes by. Well, this next tune, 1944, again, tune not from a movie or a show, just a couple of guys sat down, decided to write a song, and it's called Sentimental Journey. Sounds a lot, well, it sounds quite a bit like I Hope. Here we go. Sentimental Journey. I think one of the big bands had a big hit of that. Now, don't quote me, but I think it was the Glenn Miller Orchestra. That kind of sounds like a Glenn Miller-ish type tune that they would do. But I know there was one of the big bands that had the first big hit anyway. But of course, that tune was recorded by many, many, many people. Everybody who's anybody recorded that tune. We're moving on to around 1947. Now, the title of this song sounds like it should have come from some great exotic place. The title is called On Green Dolphin Street. Oh, Green Dolphin Street. I wonder where that is. Is it in Hawaii or some remote exotic place? Wow, that sounds great. Well, it came from a 1947 film. Okay, the song was written for the film, so I guess maybe there's no real Green Dolphin Street. And the film came from a novel of a few years earlier called On Green Dolphin Street. That's it. No exotic place, no big Hawaiian island or anything, just plain old On Green Dolphin Street, and that's the best I got on that one. So let's just see what it sounds like. On Green Dolphin Street. I also believe that was one of Art Van Dam's favorite songs. He generally did that in most of his live performances. I think he's got it on at least one, if not more, of his albums. And once again, guess where that somebody you know happened to find that song, and of course, like to just maybe not as much as art, but pretty close, sir. On Green Dolphin Street, great tune. Well, we're getting down towards the end of our time. And our last tune is a song about a highway. Yeah, somebody wrote a song about a highway. No, it wasn't Route 95 or anything like that. It's called Route 66, or Get Your Kicks on Route 66. Fellow named Bobby Troup. Who? Bobby Troup. Bobby Troup was a jazz piano player and obviously a songwriter. He was also an actor. Remember the old TV show Emergency, with the two guys running around the ambulance and they bring the patients into the hospital? Well, Julie London is the nurse, and Dr. Early, the older of the two doctors, is played by Bobby Troup. So here's a guy, great jazz piano player, songwriter, actor, and to top it off, this guy was married to Julie London. I mean, come on, Bobby, talk about the guy having it all. So where'd the song come from? Well, this was probably pre-Julie London days. In 1946, he took his family on a motor trip, because you can start in Chicago, stay right on Route 66, and never get off until you get to California. Now, we've been on Route 66 in Texas. I mean, it's just a nice road. It's just a road. But I guess the fact that you can, get on and stay on and get all the way to California. So let's get our kicks on Route 66. Get your kicks on Route 66 along with Bobby Troup. Bobby Troup. Here's a guy who was so talented, and I'm sure when I mentioned his name, very, very few of you folks out there actually recognized it. But he's one of the great jazz players, from the 20th century. So, well, that's just about the end of our time today. As usual, thank you all for watching, listening, however it is you get our show. And once again, thanks to the big man behind the board. I don't think we've driven him too crazy today, but if anything sounds good, it's that big guy Austin behind there who's responsible for it. So, and as you know what I'm going to say, bring the young'uns in to hear these great tunes. Maybe someday they'll get a trip down Route 66. Who knows? So Coach Dave saying, let's take it home with, I don't know, how about Route 66?